Hello, welcome back to Shadow Woods. I'm standing in front of a magnificent example of an oak tree. Now, when we first came here 23 years ago, this oak tree was completely circular. And then after a few years, in one storm, lightning struck it, and it struck at the top of the tree, and the lightning bolt went down the tree. There's a channel here, and it reached this point at my head height, where it met the earth energy. At that point, it fused and boiled all the sap on this side of the tree and blew chunks of the tree out into the trees over there. And some of the bits was actually stuck up in the branches. Now, a lot of people might think, oh, you should have cut that down. But what happens when a tree is damaged, it creates growth to support the mass of branches at the top. And these are called ram's horns because they grow like a ram's horn and they curl around. Now what happens is the bark grows over the cambium layers and the softwood, and as it curls round, the softwood breaks down through the action of mycelium and shredders like wood lice and wood boring beetles and other things like wood lice and worms even. They all travel up there and eat the sugar rich layers just under the bark, and this creates cavities up all the way up the tree, and that's why we left it, because those cavities create habitat for things like tree creepers, blue tits. All those things have nested in here because I've witnessed it over the last 20 years, and it's still creating that habitat. So that is a place for wildlife to be supported in those 2 decades. And it has gone back to the heartwood. Now the heartwood is the inner part of the tree, and that's full of tannins, and it's really, really hard. And that is supporting this mass of branches up the top. Now this is in a ride that was cleared 23 years ago, so it gets a lot of wind. So the wind has been pushing against the opposite side to the damaged side, and that has been helping to support the ram's horns. So the ram's horns have got thicker, and even in all the strong winds we've had, this tree is still viable and is really strong, and it is supporting the wildlife. As the camera comes closer, you will see the ridge that it was, not the ridge, the channel that was chopped out by the lightning, and you'll also see the little holes in the wood where it's been eaten. If you come closer, then you'll see, if you put the camera in these cavities, you'll see all of the potential for nest sites all the way up. Like in these bits here, these holes here, they're all places where things like bats and such like could nest. And up the top there, you can see right up there, there's you can see the woodworm holes in all that softwood, or what was softwood, and behind that eventually bits will fall off, and it will all add to the soil. Now if you look down here, this is the result of what the shredders have done. So my hands are full of what was part of the tree, and you can see in there, you can see little insects. See, there's a little millipede. There's quite a few millipedes. There's little seeds sprouting, and this is really rich. And this is the importance of letting nature recover, because it helps create all this. Is falling down this channel into the soil. The bacteria are breaking it down even more. The fungi are breaking down the bits of root. This is another part of the tree. You can see inside here, you've got little tiny strands. I don't know if you can see that, but what's happening is where the beetles and the bugs and everything are eating it, they're creating little channels, and the mycelium runs through those channels and it breaks down the rest of the tissue with acids and enzymes, and then that makes it more available for the shredders to break down further. And then when it gets down even further, then the bacteria and the fungi work in unison and they break it down even further. And around the root rhizosphere, which is a really fine roots around the tips, then the bacteria and the fungi feed the tree again. So this tree is actually helping to support itself with its own tissue. We hope you found that interesting, and we'll see you next time.